Well, hello there, troopers, and welcome back to General Kenobi's Bunker. It is I, your favorite general in the Grand Army of the Republic, General Kenobi. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. We got a special show today, a very, very special show today. Because let's be honest, they're all special, but this one's just extra special. All right. Um, Thank you again for joining me here on the high ground. So we got a lot to talk about this week. First of all, happy birthday to the bunker. Yes, that's right. Over the weekend marked the 1 year anniversary of my very first video. Uh, and yeah, it's crazy how time flies. It's crazy how much things have changed in 1 year. Um, so we'll be repeating myself quite a bit during the stream. But first time, let me say it. Thank you so much for the support. I really, really appreciate you guys watching the toy hunts, the reviews, my own, rambling videos. This new live section on the high ground, I really, really appreciate it. And so, thank you again. That's gonna be the word of the night, probably, to be honest with you. So, to do something special for this episode, we got couple things. So we got our very first guest in the house tonight. All right. And I cannot tell you how excited I am / nervous. He has been a friend of the channel for a very long time. He has been a supporter of the channel, and he is a supporter of the overall YouTube community for us toy hunters. He does great work. He has some great channels that, don't worry, we'll talk about that. But like I said, he actually gave me my very first live, opportunity when I joined him on one of his streams. That was my first live anything. So I'm always grateful for that. And like I said, just the continuing support to the channel. So let me just go. Hey, Joey, thank you so much for joining, man. Really appreciate it. So, sorry, I was building up to it. Now, without further ado, because he's been waiting in the green room for a few minutes now, let's bring in my man, Hey Archer. How do I do this? Like this. Hey, hello there.
You didn't kill Anakin. I did.
Exactly. And trust me, we are gonna talk about that later on. We got quite a bit to unpack. I was actually catching up on your reviews about that, but
I hope I didn't piss you off too bad on that one.
No, not at all. But first and foremost, welcome to the bunker. Welcome to the high ground. Thanks for joining me up here.
Congratulations on 1 year of awesome content, awesome work, awesome community building, awesome collecting, awesome backdrop, awesome everything. Here's to you, sir.
Thank you so much, and I'll drink to that. Much appreciated, brother. And like I said, I always, appreciate your continued support to the channel. I mean, you were one of the early subscribers, man. So
yeah, it's
hey, thank you so much, man. Thanks for stopping by.
I think there's something special about catching somebody when they're just starting off, because don't get me wrong, all of us are always trying to level up and trying to get better and do better, but seeing somebody at video between video 1 and 10, seeing them there and then watching the transition, it's to me something magical. So thank you for bringing us on that journey with you.
No, and I appreciate every single one of you that's joined me for this journey. It's been kind of crazy, not gonna lie. It's just one of those things that a lot of people consider, right? Only a few people actually do it, and even less people actually stick with it, right? So it's just one of those things that I never really truly considered doing until I just did it. I just jumped in, and then I was hooked. But you being my first guest and all, a little bit less about me. let's dive into the secret origin of Hey Archer. Because let me preface that with saying that my man Archer is prolific. Okay, he is a hardworking toy hunter, right? But that's not where he started. Oh no, my man does some great toy photography. And if you're not following him on Instagram and YouTube, his photography channel, if I remember correctly, is Book of Archer. So you definitely want to check that out. But that's not all. He also has his own empire, you know? So my friend Archer is actually the boss over at Nerd Affiliated. And again, great channel. And I will be dropping the links here on the chat in a little bit. And they do all kinds of stuff. I guess, basically, did you start it on your own, actually? Nerd Affiliated, and then it just grew along with your friends? Is that what happened?
Well, I apologize for the long explanation that's upon us, but
no, hey, I'm ready.
I also want to give credit where credit's due. That
sure.
I am only the president of Nerd Affiliated. My friend Charmine is actually the CEO of Nerd Affiliated.
Oh, there you go.
Yes, he's the boss.
Titles, guys.
Exactly. No, essentially the fastest way for me to explain it is I started YouTube. It's funny. Actually, June must be like a special month because I also just passed an anniversary. I think.
Oh, no way.
I think it's 5 years on June wow. Like 15th or 16th, something like that.
Crazy. Okay.
So I started as Hey Archer. Like Hey Archer was the channel, and my brain goes like 5 million directions at all times. So the channel started off as a fitness channel, and then it turned into nerdy like reviews. I want to say, yeah, there was a couple like top 5 things I want rebooted, like random stuff. Then I stopped for a while, and came back 5 years ago, and at that point I was like, all right, I want to do podcasting. Like that's the focus.
Nice.
But again, I couldn't stay like on a topic, and I was like, the algorithm just didn't know what to do with my channel. Like I had random videos that would pop off, but like the algorithm just wouldn't grab it.
Oh, that algorithm.
But, yeah, I hate
how it gets us. Yeah,
I hate it. So eventually I decided I'm going to make a second channel, and the second channel is going to be the vlog channel, and I'm going to pull all the vlog videos off the main Hey Archer channel.
Okay.
And it's going to be affiliated to the main channel.
Gotcha.
So I created Nerd Affiliated.
Right.
But then on the Hey Archer channel, again, it's all podcasting. Anthony was a guest a couple times and really wanted to be involved in that. So we created his own segment. Then his friend Sal jumped in, and Sal became affiliated. And it was weird saying that all these shows were under Hey Archer.
Right.
So about, I say almost a year ago, I think I switch. So I renamed the Hey Archer channel Nerd Affiliated, because that would be where all the various podcasts and shows are housed. And then and then Hey Archer would just be my channel where I do the vlogging and the toy hunting and all that.
Right. Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, I think I was around ready for that. That sort of, shift, rebrand type of thing. Because I remember you making a couple of posts, and I was like, yeah, you know what, that makes perfect sense. Why not, right?
Yeah.
I mean, hell, if Facebook can do it, what couldn't we, right?
Either great minds think alike, or you actually did watch that video, because that was my reference. My reference was that Facebook rebranded at this point.
Yeah, and if I'm being honest with you, I think it's probably both. I think you see the idea in my mind.
Yeah.
So we got a question right there.
Yep.
From that's actually my cousin. He's asking if that's the Green Ranger's dagger in the back.
It is. I definitely need to work on lighting. Moving the helmet over here in your honor definitely kind of threw things off.
Much appreciated, though. Yeah. I mean,
so that is, yes, that's the Green Ranger dagger.
Yes.
And above it is actually a picture from the movie premiere.
Oh, no way.
All of their autographs on it. And
that's awesome.
Jason David Frank, the Green Ranger, is actually going to be in my town next week. I found out today.
Oh, well. So better than finding out the day after, right?
Exactly. I might try to take something over to get it.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah. He's actually been a couple of times down to South Texas,
Mhm,
but where I used to live before in McAllen.
mhm.
And he would actually be sort of a regular down there. Like every other year, he would pop on. Um,
I think he lives there or Florida.
I think Florida.
I know
Yeah,
like
man, it's awesome. So Archer has, as you can probably guess, he is a Power Rangers fan, and amongst other things, don't get me wrong.
mhm.
But he does have some awesome pieces for Power Rangers. Remind me, did you ended up picking up the or I guess pre-ordering the Power Sword after all?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That's
That's awesome.
my and I apologize if I'm yelling at any point. I don't have my monitor turned on, so I can't hear my
Oh, I
own.
got you.
I can't
No,
hear
no, I think
my
you're
own
fine.
voice.
At least to me, you sound fine. If
Oh,
anybody in the chat is getting blasted by either of us, please let us know.
let us know. Yes. Um. So this this dagger is from the previous company that owned the license, and they created the Legacy line, and all of
Ah,
that stuff was like die cast and like had weight to it.
oh really? Well,
So my only regret was in that line, I never got the Power Sword.
sure.
So now that Hasbro is re-releasing their own stuff,
Yeah.
even though I know it's not going to be as good quality, I need a Power Sword.
No, I hear you. It's funny you say that about re-releasing because I just got in the mail 2 days ago the original Black Series Boba Fett helmet,
Um,
the OG one, the I guess the Return of the Jedi, weathering and colors and all of that.
yep.
Um, and it's kind of funny because it really is the old one. It even comes in the old box, like the one from what is it, 4 or 5 years ago.
Mhm.
Um, so I'm like, really, did somebody like, because we got new packaging right for those helmets.
Right.
So I'm like, okay, was this literally like, let's just reprint everything, box included, or did somebody found a crate, in some abandoned warehouse and be like, yeah, we kind of need to get these out of here,
Yeah.
type of thing. So,
I
but
I
hey,
have that
I'm not
one.
complaining. Yeah,
Good one.
I'm not complaining though because that helmet had gone up in price. I mean, I think it was upwards of like 250,
Yeah.
pretty much everywhere. So I am grateful that it's back. So I had to snag one of those. Um,
Mhm.
okay, awesome, man. Thanks for letting me know. And yeah, go ahead, guys, and subscribe to Hey Archer and Nerd Affiliated. I'll drop the links in the chat, and I'll drop them as we go. So they're fresh in the chat.
Appreciate it.
Um, so like I was saying, before we got a little bit derailed, and that's gonna happen a lot, by the way, just FYI. So yes, so Hey Archer, as you heard, is a man of many talents and of many interests. So I highly recommend you subscribe to all his channels. He will not disappoint in any of them. We sort of came, I guess, a little bit, close, let's call it that, because we both enjoy, toy hunting. And if I remember correctly, you keep that, I guess, on the vlog series, which is on Hey Archer channel. So if you guys are more interested into that, you can laser focus to the Hey Archer channel. And trust me, again, he basically goes out like, man, you do like pretty much every day of the week, and you drop it on what is it, Saturday, and it is fresh. It is literally what he saw that morning, even. So if you guys want to see what's out there at literally like right now, check out his hunts. So he does really good job on that.
Appreciate it.
Me, I'm trying to get better at it. I always end up with some like forgotten video that I forgot to put in like the week's hunt, and I'm like, dang it, like, do I just forget it? Do I throw it in? So I flip flop between that. Um, so
And
yeah,
I was gonna say it's such a harder thing. This isn't like an attempt to boost my ego or anything. I think I'm fortunate because my stores are relatively close to me, but it's such a hard thing to go out so often that like when I watch somebody like Sleeping Collectibles or
oh
yourself,
man,
where you guys have to like drive, I'm like,
yeah.
I don't know how you guys do that. I give you guys credit.
Now, I appreciate it. Now, don't get me wrong. I am nowhere near as bad as sleeping. I think he usually talks about like,
It's an
what is it,
hour
about an hour? Yeah, like an hour long more to get
to
to the
go
first
one.
target.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And so my head's off to him. But he's, I mean, he is a machine when it comes to that kind of stuff. I don't know how many hours his day has, but it's more than the one
more,
I get because
more than us.
wow, like yeah, exactly. Like it's got to be at least a 37-hour day because
Yeah,
again, just with the driving, right? I mean, you add 2 hours of purely driving,
purely driving.
let alone, of course, he has a job, right? He has a full-time job, of course, as we all do. Um, so yeah, me, it's not too bad, but the stores that are closest to me are usually the worst ones.
Yep.
So I will continuously like strike out, and there's literally been times where it's been like, I think the worst one I had was maybe like 3 weeks where I had literally nothing different to show.
Yeah.
Like I will try to rearrange the shots differently, but it was literally the same thing on the pegs, like
Mm-hmm.
almost down to the T, like almost down to the figures, like.
Mm-hmm.
So it gets bad, right? I mean, and again, that's just in general. I stopped by at a Target yesterday when I was in Downers Grove, Illinois, and kind of the same deal. Honestly, I mean, it looked very very similar to what I see out here. So I was like, okay, well, at least they're not forgetting about my part of the world, but
Yeah.
it just means that it kind of sucks everywhere.
Yeah, it does.
So,
There's
yeah.
there's like a drought going on right now. Like I think that's also why the kind of unrelated to what we normally talk about, but the Hasbro Pulse, the HasLab Hiss, the GI Joe Hiss tank, that thing backed in a day, in a matter of hours, because I think
I just saw that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just saw that. I mean, it was what? Yeah, it was 8-10 hours maybe. Like it just went on it crazy.
Mm-hmm.
If you guys don't know what we're talking about, so Hasbro has a, let's call it a crowdfunding platform of their own, right? And that is usually so the label is the HasLab, right? And it's basically a figure or a playset or a replica or a ship that is just too big or too complicated to mass produce without having backers, right? And what that means is that you basically pre-order it, right? So they want to see if there's enough interest that they can sell. I believe for the his was 8,000, if I remember correctly. I think that was the mark.
8 or 9, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So they have to basically lock in like 8 or 9K, orders, right? And these things are not cheap. Don't get me wrong. No. They're usually several $100. I think probably the cheapest one that I've seen is what, like 350. I want to say.
This one's 300.
Oh, there you go, 300. That might be actually the cheapest one now that I think about it. And they can range all the way up to, I think 700 is about the most expensive one that I've seen.
I think the Ghostbusters Photon Pack,
yes,
was probably the most expensive one.
Yes, you're right. And that thing was sweet though. I mean, that thing was very nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so they basically, that's where they put their big projects, right? Now, in terms of Star Wars, they've done a few, right? The very first HasLab was the Katana, which is a Jabba's sail barge from Return of the Jedi, right? Where the big one, where Jabba was actually sitting at.
Oh
so
yeah, that's what it was.
That was their very first one. Mm-hmm. Even back then, right? That was like outrage. Why is it $500? This is crazy. Nobody's gonna buy it. Of course they bought it. It got funded. It got done. If I remember correctly, I think it got 1 or 2 tiers. Oh, that's the other thing I forgot to mention. So they got their baseline number of needed backers, right, to basically create the molds and go into production. But they will, how can I say, they will unlock incentives as you go up, right? Yes. So if you get a few more K, let's say the original is 8,000, they say, okay, well, if we get to, I don't know, 12,000, then we'll give you 3 figures with it or whatever, right? Like something like that. So it just keeps growing that way, depending on the demand, of course. And which is kind of cool because the price is the same, right? So you could potentially get a lot more bang for your buck in a way.
Yeah.
That sort of happened to me. The only one that I backed is the Razor Crest. That one, if I remember, was $375, I want to say.
Mm-hmm.
And then we just kept going through the tiers, right, to through the I guess the unlocks of the extra stuff. So
Mm-hmm.
we ended up with 3 figures. We ended up with the what was it? The weapons and the oh my god, I'm blanking out. I want to say one of the carbonite bounties on it. So anyway,
to go inside the
exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, in those like the
sleeves,
meat hooks that he's got like. So anyway, that's sort of how it works, right? So what we're specifically talking about is that Hasbro just launched their first, if I remember correctly, their first GI Joe theme HasLab, and it's the Cobra Hiss.
Ooh,
and
I will correct one thing. It's
yeah.
the first GI Joe classified.
You're right.
6-inch.
That's correct. So just like Star Wars has Black Series, GI Joe now has their classified series. So 6-inch figures, highly detailed. I would say based on different things. I'm not a very like GI Joe connoisseur, but I know they're not the old school GI Joes that I used to know. I think some of them come from different shows, some come from the game inspired, etc., etc. So, so this thing is massive, right? It's basically a tank. But the point is that it was just launched today, right? Open to be funded, and I think they give you something like 49, 50 days, something like that. I forget right now, 45 days maybe.
Yep.
But the point is that it just got funded like a couple hours ago, so it was done in hours. Where opposite, we actually have we have a hey Sal, how's it going, man? Thank you so much for joining. Appreciate it, man.
1/3 of the affiliated fam.
There you go. Hey, speaking of right, sleeping, we were just talking about you, man. You missed us singing your praises. So thank you so much for joining, man. Really, really appreciate it. So sorry, real quick. The other HasLab that is actually active for weeks now, I want to say.
Oh yeah,
is the Forcefx Black Series Riva Inquisitor lightsaber, right? The double bladed one with the I guess with what looks like the spinning handle, and I know you got a little comment on that.
Oh yeah.
And you know what? It's gonna be easier if I just show you real quick.
And I guess a question I'll ask you as you bring that up. Yeah, so that's the Hiss tank there.
Right. So just for reference, guys, this is meant to be a 6-inch figure.
Yeah. Yes.
So this thing is massive.
Yep.
And again,
it's got lights in it. I'm gonna sing its praises real quick because I thought this was so stupid, but it has lights on the inside. The front has lights. At the bottom of it, there's a little red dot. That red dot lights up the ground underneath it with the Cobra symbol.
Oh no way! I missed that.
Yep. The back part. Yeah. So the cockpit lights up.
Oh, that's
put the
gorgeous.
figure in there. The yeah. I was looking at the count. Yeah. So it's almost at 9,000 backers now.
Yep.
So you have the cannons on the top, so you can put a figure there. You get that new figure. And this is where they also got people. If you're a completionist, the GI Joe figures come numbered, and I started collecting them because I wanted all the numbers. I got a couple, and I was like, I need 1 through whatever.
Gotta have them all.
This figure is numbered, so they're like, if you want to get the whole complete set,
of course,
you're gonna need this thing.
And I'm gonna assume, because that's the way they usually do it, is that this is exclusive to this set, right?
Exclusive to it.
The figure, yeah.
Yep. So, and in the back,
it's gorgeous.
The back of it opens up, and you can sit your figures back there.
No.
Yep. They may not have the picture because you know what it was? They showed a new physical version of it on the stream.
Okay.
That's not it's not painted or anything. So these were like the initial images, but on the mold that they had it in hand. It's like 20 inches or 19 inches. The back part opens up and there's seats, so you could sit your figures in there. And it's so big that you can it has a weapons rack, so you could you could put the weapons in the rack to pull the rack out. so they could come like file out like the photography options and potential on this.
Yeah, I was just gonna say. I was literally just gonna tell you, like, can you imagine just basically any backdrop, right? With this thing, like unloading troops, like, oh man, that's awesome.
Sorry, I didn't mean to bogart your
No, by no means. Hey, Sleeping, no man, nothing but the truth, my friend. I think both of us, and I know I'm speaking for Archer as well, but I think he agrees. We greatly appreciate, first of all, your videos, right? They're just entertaining. We're just talking about you, driving out there for so long, hitting all the good spots, showing us everything that's out there. But behind the scenes, and again, I'm pretty sure Hey Archer will agree with me, you're actually one of the nicest, and how can I say this? You share the knowledge.
Yeah.
I don't know what, there should be a word for that, but you basically share the knowledge of how you do what you do, right? And that is sort of a rare thing nowadays, especially with, of course, YouTube, right? Because let's be honest, some people just want to make money off of it, right? A lot of us do it for fun. Don't get me wrong, if they tell me, hey, we're going to pay you some money, I'm not going to say no. But at least for me, it's about the fun, and it's about the community now, definitely. So Sleeping, like I said, man, nothing that's not truth, like I said, for both of us and for many of us in the community, not just Hey Archer and myself.
I feel like it might be even a what's up, Patrick? Good to see you.
Good to see you, man. Thank you so much for joining.
Fair to say that we potentially started toy hunting videos because of Sleeping?
Yeah, so he was definitely up there. I think man, how did it go? I forget the exact progression, but here's one thing that I can say. And speaking about the 1 year anniversary of the channel, I want to say, and I might get the timing a little bit off, but I want to say Sleeping was actually subscribed to my channel the day I launched it.
Wow.
So I want to say he's like the first 10 subscribers.
Yep.
I would even venture to say the first 5, to be honest, but a safe bet for me would be like the first 10. So like I said, Sleeping, he's literally been here from day one. And I can't sing his praises enough, but we'll move on because it's going to start to sound kind of creepy. So, the other thing, going back, that I wanted to show you on the HasLab.
Oh, yeah.
So here you got the active projects, and
look at the prices
in those two. Exactly. So this is actually really good that Hasbro puts them up next to each other, because this is going to illustrate perfectly what I wanted to say. So this is the other still active HasLab, and it is this lightsaber, again, Black Series Forcefx Elite lightsaber. So they're the kind that the blades come apart. They're highly detailed, sounds, lights, all of that stuff. Plug, I'm gonna have the review of the Palpatine Forcefx lightsaber soon. I just shot that a couple days ago, so look out for that. Yes, this is they're calling it Riva's lightsaber, but it's basically your standard Inquisitor issue, lightsaber.
Do you think that hurts it? Sidebar.
Yes, that was literally gonna be my next comment. I don't know that it was beneficial to make that distinction, because again, it literally says Riva, third sister, right, lightsaber. But if you would have just told me Inquisitor, right, vanilla, flavor, Inquisitor, pick your poison.
Yeah.
Now, honestly, I feel that would have made a difference, seeing how poorly this is doing.
Yeah.
So, as you can see on the price, first of all, it's a big difference. This is $500 for the lightsaber, $300 for the Cobra Hiss. Their target is lower in terms of numbers. They need 5,000, whereas the Cobra Hiss needed 8,000. But check it out. This was done today. It passed the 8,000, and like Archer mentioned, we're close to 9,000 already. We'll probably be there before the end of today. Whereas our Forcefx lightsaber has 1300.
Yeah.
Right. And that's been going on for, God, I want to say at least 2 weeks at the very least.
Yeah.
Probably more than that at this point.
It was
Now,
announced when you went to Celebration.
Celebration, right? Oof, yeah. So that's even worse. That's 3 weeks almost.
Yep.
So I see. Okay, so this is something that you can have the single blade configuration, the double blade configuration, the I guess the collapsed blade or handle. Again, highly detailed. It looks really nice. I'm not gonna lie. Like it looks gorgeous, right? Remember, this is just a 3D rendering because the prototype hasn't been, I guess, fully displayed.
Well, they had it. They had it at Celebration, but it was so beta. Like it was even it plugged in, I think, manually.
Yeah, yeah. So, but here's the thing, and again, this is something that my man Archer has talked about, and he's not wrong. This does not spin. Okay, and for $500, I have to agree with Archer. I feel like this should spin. Okay.
And who's your target audience? That's the thing. Because you're, if I'm sitting in the boardroom and I'm like, and you come to me with this lightsaber, I ask you, who's your audience? And if you say people of the new show, fine, because I may not know any different, but somebody in that room needs to be like, oh, by the way, this was popular because of this cartoon, where, by the way, as silly as it was, the coolest feature was that it did this motion. It did this thing.
Yep.
And that's the one thing they did not put in it.
Yeah. No, exactly. That's you're absolutely right. Hey, Jager. I appreciate you stopping by, man. No worries. I know you're always, going back and watching the videos, and I always appreciate you for that. Jager is actually back in. He's close to home down at the border, and he goes out toy hunting, but he also goes comic hunting, at comic book stores. So check out his channel. He does a really good job at that.
Nice.
Appreciate you stopping by, man. Yes. So going back to the point, you are absolutely correct. As goofy as that was, that was the wow moment, right? When we saw Rebels, right? That's where we saw the Grand Inquisitor. I even remember he was, fighting with Kanan. And I think it was Seb asked him, "Hey, does your lightsaber do that too?" Like, like that's, I've never seen that, and neither had we, right?
Yeah.
Now, to be fair, on the Kenobi show, it also spins. So.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, he did. I forgot about that.
Yeah, and Vader, force stops it, right?
Yes.
From spinning. So again, it's there. Well, either way you look at it, it was shown, right? In real life, in animation. And come on, yeah. So that was actually my I was gonna say that was a gripe for me. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh yeah,
that
so silly.
Yeah, that I could not get behind, guys. Like, I'm sorry. I will,
you let a lot slide.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was gonna say. I will love Star Wars till the end of my days, probably. Because I've learned to take, the bad with the good,
right,
or the good with the bad, whichever way that goes.
In Star Wars' case, you take the bad with the good, which
there you go. Yeah, exactly. It's mostly good. But so in the show, in Rebels, the animated one, when it would spin, right, and it would spin really fast, they would hold it, I guess, basically on top of their heads, and it would work as a helicopter rotor.
Yeah.
Somehow.
Yep.
So blades of pure energy gave you a lift and drag to propel you and to move you around. So
look at the mechanical here. Lift and drag. Look at that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, because I looked it up. That's why back then. So yeah. So no, that wasn't. I couldn't go, with that. But anyway, the point is, we just wanted to illustrate the difference between a uber successful HasLab, right? A project giving people what they want, all those light up features. I didn't even realize about it. are beautiful. I mean, the extra space, like you were mentioning, on the back, obviously the figure, and look what the figure got. You know, it at least has a couple weapons. It's got another set of hands, which is something that I feel should be just baseline for every single,
Every,
every figure out there right now.
yeah.
And the added should be, hey, you get another set of hand or two sets of hands, etc. Anyway, whereas yes, I'm not gonna lie, this lightsaber looks awesome, but we have the and again, I have to bring it down to her a little bit. As most of you know, if you watch the series and if you're on the internet at any point throughout the day, people, let's call it, the fans even, which I hate, what that's becoming now.
Yeah.
Really were not kind to the Riva, both the character and apparently, therefore, the actress, right? Moses.
Because obviously it's the same person. Like she,
yeah, that's what I'm gonna say, because
she obviously wrote the character and the
exactly,
scripts.
and she wrote, yeah, exactly. She took care of her own wardrobe, and she did her own hair, and she wrote her own lines, etc. So again, just I guess fans being fans. I hate to say it, but it is becoming more recurrent. So yeah, so Reva was just not a popular character, right? And this being specifically branded as Reva's lightsaber, I feel it did hurt it. Yeah. Now, what I wanted to point out is that this is the second HasLab, Star Wars HasLab, that, in my opinion, will not get funded.
We were on the same wavelength.
Yeah. So, okay, cool. So this show is this shows us some of the successful HasLabs of the past. You got the gigantic Galactus. This right here that you see, I don't know how well you can see it.
You can see it
on the page. That is a 6-inch figures, guys. So take all of that in. Like this thing is massive. Just
wild.
It's exactly. It's borderline insane, and I love it. I wish I would have gotten one. Like I wish I was into Marvel as much as the people that order it.
Yeah.
And then we have some Transformers, Victory Saber, and then we have, there you go. That's the one I missed. The Sky Striker, but look at everything that comes with it. Like it is literally jam packed with weapons, like support gear, couple of figures. Like it's gorgeous. Right?
You know what's wild? If you just go back up real quick.
Sure.
Something that you don't even see. The Striker.
Yeah.
They showed it in the stream today, and there's even things here. There's even things that's coming with that are not even in the picture. Like the damn cockpit has a parachute that you can take out.
No way.
And it has, in the second seat, has a second parachute back there.
Oh.
And then one of those things at the top, what is like the one on the top left is like a little fuel cart.
Mm-hmm.
The one on the right, so you can put the missiles on it. When they normally transport the missiles. Right. And I'm pretty sure it also comes with a little truck thing, like they will do the dolly to tow a plane.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I'm like, that is worth the money.
Yeah, agreed. And so I don't know if they have. Here we go. Okay, perfect. Man, Hasbro's doing all my job for me. So there's
one thing I know you're gonna look for, and I don't think.
Yeah. No, as I was gonna say, I doubt that it's here, but no, it is here.
Oh, it is there.
Oh, so look at that.
Yeah.
So this was a Rancor in the Black Series scale, meaning it could be against the 6-inch figures.
Mm-hmm.
And let me see if they still kept the figures. Yeah.
Look how close.
So yeah. So this is like I said, this is meant to be. Here we go. This is meant to be sort of to scale to the 6-inch figures, right? To the Black Series.
Yeah.
Look at how close we actually came, though. That's actually closer than I remember. So 500 away from actually being funded, but it was not. And I remember because they actually started unlocking, I guess, the extras before it was funded to try to get the people to go for it. So
Yes.
this that you see here, this is obviously the Luke Skywalker Jedi Knight, 6-inch, exclusive to this set, with
Yep.
the coin, power of the Force packaging, all of that. And they added a Salacious Crumb, and then forget it. No, yeah. So that came on a card too, right there.
Mm-hmm.
And then I remember they added, so some accessories, some skulls, some rocks, etc. Then they even added a Gamorrean guard.
Mm-hmm.
And mind you, this is before the funding, right? So they just kept, piling on stuff like, please buy this kind of thing.
It was
but
it was hilarious to watch in real time.
Yeah, they were. Yeah, they. I don't think they realized, right, how far away from what people wanted they were. So they kept trying to sweeten the pot any way they could, except for the one figure everybody wanted, which was Ola, right? The Twilight green dancer from Return of the Jedi. So we didn't get that, and there it goes. He was not funded, and I want to say this was the first one for Star Wars, but here's the very first one, the Katana, right? This thing is just gorgeous. Now it's, well, you heard me on Celebration. I asked how much it was in box. It's $3,000. So if somebody's sitting on them, you might want to start thinking about selling them.
I guess two quick comments there.
Sure.
And you just reminded me of something I was going to mention earlier. I feel like a lot of people who back the His Tank are flippers because they know that people are skipping some of this stuff. And I think it was like a limit of 2 or 5. So the flippers are definitely buying it, which we don't mess with flippers around here.
No, I hear you. And just as I say that, when I was ordering my Razor Crest, right?
Mm-hmm.
I debated about ordering one more, right?
Yeah.
Because like you said, it was a limit of 5, I believe, also on the Razor Crest.
Yeah.
And I had seen how the Katana, even back then, was skyrocketing, right? Like back then, it was still, I think, $1,000, like 1,200. The last time I saw them in the Celebration in Chicago that year, that same year when it came out, it a few months later, it was still like, it already had gone up like twice as much as the original price.
Right.
So when the Razor Craze comes around, I'm like, oof. Should I just pick up another one, hold it for not even that long, probably like 2 months?
Yeah.
Sell it, right? And that would basically cover mine.
Well, all right. So I do want to point that out. That I don't count that as flipping. Like if you're somebody who's like, I'm buying one and then I'm buying one on the side because that could be a trade, that could be a sell.
That's true.
I'm fine with that if it's engulfed in you collecting what it is you're getting. Like my storage unit right now has a bunch of stuff that, do I really need 2 of them? No.
I hear you.
Some of them are for trade, because I know at some point people will need to trade for some NECA turtles or whatever.
Definitely.
But
especially those, man.
It's the ones who buy it. They don't even like it, but they know that there's the chance, and they just max out, keep none of them, just sell them.
Yeah, no, I hear you, and that's actually a very fair distinction.
Yeah.
So so the only reason, well, maybe not the only reason, but the main reason why I didn't do that is because I became unemployed shortly around that time.
And you were blogging at that point too.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, that the timing could not have worked out as good. Yeah, I hear you, cuz for sure. Hey, maybe next time, right?
Where do you have well, if you have it hidden somewhere, don't disclose. But if it's on display, do you have it on display, or is it?
I don't, and I have to be real honest with you. It breaks my heart that I don't.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I think it would be worse if I didn't properly display it. It would make me feel even worse to see it, unbalanced on top of, like those details with like half of it hanging out, like not, not looking good, right? So I don't have it displayed. I did the review. It's on the channel, by the way.
It is.
Um, and I had to disassemble it, put it back in, uh, and I still think about it. I'm like, it breaks my heart, especially hey Darth Angel, not a problem, man. You're always here. I always appreciate your support ever since you learned about the channel. You've been on it, and I thank you so much for it. So not a problem, man. We're here. So what I was gonna say is at Celebration, the Hasbro booth had it on a table basically with glass around it, and it was a really simple quote unquote diorama with just some sand and like a few rocks on the side, right? But they had they had Bo-Katan and they had Boba Fett like added into the mix, and the Razor Crest was like taken apart because that thing has panels up the walls. Like it has so many panels that you can just undo, right, to reveal circuitry or mechanical parts, etc. So they had it sort of taken apart, and it just looked amazing, dude. It just looked so cool, and it just made me wanna get like a room dedicated for it. But alas, that's not gonna happen anytime soon.
Well, that brings that's the second issue or the question I have. Like at a certain I feel like the toy collecting community, don't get me wrong, it's small on YouTube. Like not everybody YouTube streams and puts their stuff out there, but the toy collecting community as a whole is not very big. And at a certain point, people do realize, like, all right, if I already have 2 HasLabs in my house, where am I going to display a third, a fourth, a fifth? And also,
exactly. Oh man.
And the other part too is that Rancor came out, if I remember, just as the Striker was finishing, and the Photon Pack had wrapped funding the month prior.
Yeah.
So it's like you got to space these things out, and they're doing that right now.
Yeah, you are absolutely right about that. Because I remember like everybody was complaining. It's like it's literally a barrage of HasLabs. Like never in the history of the project had there been, actually more than one at the same time. And they would overlap a little bit sometimes. But this one, like you said, it was like 3 in like as many weeks, maybe like in a month and a half, maybe. Anyway, point is, it was too much, right?
Yeah.
And I think you are right. I think the Rancor came in last in that progression, and so people were like, you know what, I'm out. Like I'm tapped out. Some people shelled out for the Proton Pack. Some people shelled out for the plane, and so they're like, that Rancor is too much. Yes, it's cool, but you're not even giving me the figure that I actually want, right? And where am I going to put it?
And some of them were, I think the Skywalker was a re-release. The Gamorrean Guard was a re-release.
Yeah.
And then they were like, oh, by the way, if we get to like 11,000, you unlock skeletons.
Yeah. Yeah, which they didn't even bother painting, in the render. Exactly. That's how I know it was rushed, right? That's when I was like, what else do we have? Like, I don't even care what it is, just put it up. Yeah. Actually, now that you mention it, all 3 figures are re-released. Salacious Crumb was released originally with the Jabba the Hutt, I guess, multi-pack or sort of diorama back in the early days of the Black Series. So even that, like, they had the mold for it. So yeah, I don't know. I thought about it. I debated it heavily, but I was like, yes, the Rancor is cool. It's iconic, obviously. But I was like, it's not so much in my focus. Like, I'm not, a huge like creature, collector.
Right.
And it wasn't cheap again. And then honestly, the space. Space is, a collector's like worst enemy, right?
Oh yeah.
You think it's money? It's not. It's space. Because again, like I said, like with the Razor Crest, it just breaks me that I can't see it every day the way it's meant to be seen, right?
The way it's meant.
Yeah. So there's that definitely. Wow, we are running through this, man. We are 50 minutes in. That
Hey,
is.
this is hard. I have not. You're the second person I've been on. Oh, wait, no, third person that I've been on their show. Like third person in like 5 years,
Oh, really?
and
Oh,
it's
no,
hard.
no way.
It's hard for me to not interject with questions for you.
That's all right, man. Hey, I was hoping you would help me, fill out the spot. So
Oh, I
much
can.
appreciated.
Oh, I
Yeah.
can.
No, I appreciate it. So, okay, we'll run a little bit long. But I wanted
We got
to,
to talk about
you
your shows.
know, I wanted to talk about real quick. We'll try to condense it because I know you've already done it over in your channel. And again, guys, go check him out. And as I say that, let me just drop the links again so that the new people that join have it on the chat, guys. Again, my man Archer has a couple of awesome YouTube channels. So if you're not subscribed to him, do yourself a favor, go ahead and subscribe. I just dropped both links in the chat. So let's, I guess, barrage real quick about Kenobi. Last episode.
Let's go for it.
The finale that they promised us was going to be twice as long, but it wasn't.
Yeah.
So right off the bat, right? Okay, so real quick, opening scene, obviously very, very reminiscent of A New Hope, right?
Yep.
We got a small ship followed by Star Destroyer, and at that, it's the same Star Destroyer, right? It's the man, I'm blanking out now. It's Vader's Decimator, is it? Don't hate me in the comments, but I'm blanking out. Anyway, and so we got that chase going on, and of course, Obi-Wan is like, no, you know what? I need to buy these people time. The hyperdrive is not working. And one thing I did want to point out on the scene that I noticed on the second viewing is that Leia is actually playing with Corran. And if you followed my previous lives, it is highly, or I should say, it's highly theorized that this Corran is the same Corran Horn that we used to know from the Legends. He's basically an ace pilot that joins Rogue Squadron after the fall of the Empire. But then it's discovered that he is force sensitive, and he actually joins Luke Skywalker's academy. Again, this is all, back in the old canon, right? Which is not what we call Legends now. But it's just kind of too much lines up for him. On the credits, his name is just Corran, so they have not given him a last name. But his age kind of, lines up, and the fact that he was being smuggled for being force sensitive, right? So it kind of just lines up for him to be the same character, or at least very, very similar. And also I want to remind you guys that we do have a little film project called Rogue Squadron in the works. So just throwing it out there.
Can I legit almost wept. I don't know if it's the bourbon or just the Star Wars nerd in me. I almost just cried because as you were saying that, like those two sentences, like he's from Legends, and then you said Rogue Squadron, and I was like, in my head, I was like, do you remember when the content was like so good? Like literally everything that came out was just so cool. And
yes. It to me, it always seemed like each story they were going for it, right? Like
all in.
This is the story, right? And they would not care that it was part 3 out of 25 like projected books, right? They would just go for it, man. Like every book had something of like a banger moment to its own, right? And then as a part of a whole, oh man, like it was even better, right? I mean, the Yuuzhan Vong War, like that blew my mind. Things like Heir to the Empire, all of that, right? And so I am, how can I say this? I am conservatively like optimistic, when stuff like this pops up, because again, it's too much of a coincidence, right? Like for the kid to be called Corran, for the kid to be force sensitive, for the kid to be
that age.
Exactly that age. So he's gonna be like 20, 22 maybe by the time the Empire falls. So again, just like in the books, right? So I at least on this one, I'm almost positive that we're talking about the same, character.
Yeah.
Again, will he go through the same stuff he went as a pilot and then as a Jedi? I don't know, but it kind of seems at least that they're, taking that into consideration, which is, I'll take that as, like I said, like any day now.
It's a win.
So Kenobi basically tells Ice Cube Jr., go and start the rebellion. All right. People listen to you. You have a beautiful voice that you inherited from your dad. Go ahead and start a rebellion. Like, that's what I got from it, from that little like interchange. But we know the path, right, has to connect somehow, right, to the rebellion. Now, they might not be exactly fighters, right? Like, they do seem like they're doing more smuggling people, right? Like, trying to help force sensitive kids. Yeah, exactly. But again, it just lines up, right? Like, the way I think about it is that this is the Jedi rescuing cell of the rebellion, right? And if you remember from Rebels, all of those little cells that were independently fighting the Empire, they didn't really know much about each other, right? At the beginning, around this time, actually. Because that was the point, right? If one of them gets captured, they couldn't give up the rest of them. So right now, it's not an alliance yet, but building up to that. Now, here's my wild prediction. We're gonna see Ice Cube Jr. Now I'm blanking out on his name.
I don't remember his name.
In Andor.
Ooh.
So you guys remember that, all right?
Yeah.
Said it here first. We're gonna see Roken on Andor. All right. Now we might.
Yeah, I don't see what.
Yeah,
I don't see what. I mean,
it just lines up, right? I mean, now it might not be this exact version of him, right? We might fast forward a little bit, 2-3 years into the fight. It might even be before, right, when he is actually trying to smuggle out his Jedi wife. Remember that story? So what if Andor, plays a part in there, and I don't know, maybe he uses the Jedi wife as a bargaining chip for some other information. We know that Andor wasn't very nice, as a covert like operative for the.
They need to lean into that. They need that. I was talking about that show yesterday. The biggest concern I have with that show is that they're going to be like, well, it's a TV show. He needs to be a good guy, and not acknowledge the fact that he kind of turned into a good guy in Rogue One. And
that is absolutely right.
And the beautiful part about probably the only thing I like about Last Jedi, and that Rogue One talks about, is that the line between who's truly the good guys and who's truly the bad guys is so gray. Like if I remove Palpatine and Vader out of the equation, like really, like the rebels are terrorists. Like they're just going against an established rule. So they need to lean into that. And I am so concerned that because it's a TV show, they're going to just be like, no, like, he's going to do all sorts of good stuff. He's not going to shoot somebody in a dark alley.
Exactly. Like we literally saw him do the first time we saw him ever. So yeah, I have to agree with you. Rogue One, and people forget sometimes, myself included, Rogue One is a Disney movie. All right. It was done well into Disney owning Star Wars. Oh yeah. And I love Rogue One. Okay.
Top 3.
It's one of my favorite, Star Wars anything. But you're absolutely right. Now it kind of seems like we're trying to steer that way, and to the point. And I'm gonna jump ahead here to visually illustrate it. Riva, right? Riva, she's been the quote unquote bad guy from the beginning. Sorry, I'm jumping all over the episode, but somehow she gets to Luke. And guys, I'm sorry, I maybe should have prefaced this whole thing by saying spoilers. All right.
No, you said that.
Yeah. Okay. Good. So, for anybody that just joined for some reason, we are talking about the finale of the Kenobi show, and full on spoilers. I mean, it's been literally a week, so I think it's pretty fair. Okay, so going back to the point, Riva, right? They gave it to us as the new baddie, right? She is obsessed with Obi-Wan. Then we learned that she's really obsessed with Vader, right? And they're like, yeah, she barely survived Order 66. She had to do a lot of bad things, but she's not gonna kill Luke, and that makes her good, right? So all the past like 10 years of like horrible stuff that she probably had to do as an Inquisitor, we're not gonna talk about that, okay? We're just gonna focus on this one good thing that she did, which is not kill Luke, right? It wasn't saved him. No. She just chose not to kill him because she was about to, right? So I don't know that I felt, how can I say, like an organic progression, on the character. I do feel that it's literally to check the mark of the redemption path. It's like we gotta have somebody that was bad and now is really good, and that's her character was not there before, right? When we learn about the Inquisitors.
Well, two things I just want to say.
Sure.
And I don't think either one of these is a joke. One, it was a rewrite. She was supposed to die in part 5, and they last minute were like, no,
I see that.
Keep it going, and they reshot her crawling. They reshot her with Owen and Beru, all that stuff. Two, Kathleen Kennedy really likes Rocky 4 because there's a speech at the end of Rocky 4 where he's like, I can change, you can change, we can change. And now that's in every single damn Star Wars thing. Everybody changes and lives.
Yeah, right. I mean, oof. I don't think I could have said it better myself, but yeah. So to your point, yeah, I don't want Andor to be that, right? I want Andor to be sort of the character. Now, maybe not to the extreme where we saw him, because I know that he's supposed to be younger,
right,
at this point, right? So, but he has already done some stuff, right? Like he's already not a very nice person.
He's doing what needs to be done to get the job done.
Exactly. Yeah. So he's been exposed to that. He knows that there's no other way to beat the Empire at this point than to be probably even worse than the Empire, right? If that's even possible.
Can I ask you a question on
Sure, yeah.
So one of the complaints that people said about the Andor trailer and Kenobi is a lack of aliens, like a lack of non-humanoid things.
Yeah.
Is that something that you even took note of? Does that bother you, or did it not matter?
Okay, so I'm gonna geek out here a little bit. The Empire, specifically Palpatine, was not keen on aliens.
Correct.
All right, because they're basically like space Nazis, right?
They're less than.
Yeah, exactly. Just maybe a notch below. But so by this point in the story, again, let's call it around 10 years after Episode 3, right? They have done pretty much all they can to phase out, senators that are aliens, any sort of like politician that has any sort of power that's an alien. They've gone and like phased them out. There's a reason why the military is only humans, right? If you notice that, with the exception of Thrawn, and Thrawn was humanoid, like he's just blue, right? But he's also a military genius, so they had like no option but to, take him, right? Yeah. Mm-hmm. And so I don't bump into that maybe as much because of that, because in the back of my mind I'm like, yeah, I mean, they don't want him, right? They've even they've enslaved entire races like the Wookiees, right? Mm-hmm. So what I'm trying to say is all of the like perks or all of the basic rights that all the aliens had, along with humans and along with every other species, are kind of being pushed or eroded away, right? So if I want to maybe think about it deeper than I should, why don't we see them? Because they don't have as much access to travel as they did before. Because they don't have as much money as they did before. Because they do not are able to go outside of their own systems to other systems for work, for research, for trading, for whatever it is they were doing before, right? They're trying to be contained, right, in their native home planet or in their native system, right?
Yeah.
So, and why? Because the Empire is trying to fill in those gaps, right? It's like, no, you don't need to go out there and trade. I'll take your stuff and I'll sell it over there, right? And I'll give you, 5% of what I made. So again, to me, that's kind of always in the back of my head. That's how I reconcile. Do I miss them? Yes, of course. I mean, I think something that the prequels did really good was that it just exploded, a slew of new, I guess, species to be seen. And we saw them as Jedi, we saw them as even like generals and stuff on the Clone Wars. If you remember, the human clones, or Jango's clones, were actually trained by aliens.
Yes.
Back in Camino. Mm-hmm. So, but again, all of that was phased out, right? In the Empire era, and that's why you had a lot of defectors. That's why some of the best, generals like the Mon Calamari, like Raddus and I'm blanking out, and Akbar, like naturally flocked towards the rebellion, right? Because they were outcasts. They were never going to hold any sort of position of power if the Empire was still there, no matter how good they were at their jobs. So now, that's not to say that there's no like underlining, like maybe they're just too expensive, right, to put on the show. Remember, and I tried to make this point, I think like 2 streams ago, about Obi-Wan, and they're saying, hey, is there going to be a season 2? Are we going to get, more episodes? All of that. I'm like, guys, you got to remember that Ewan McGregor is expensive. Okay. He's getting like a truckload of money for each episode, right? So unless Disney gets like 3 trucks load of money, per episode, he might not be back. Okay. Like there might be a cameo here and there. But the show is expensive. Like there's just no way around it. You got Hayden that came back, after saying that he was probably never going to do Star Wars anymore. So, and yes, he's good with the fans and all that, but I have to believe that money talks, right? I mean, if it comes down to persuading somebody, I'm sure money does a good job at it. So these shows are pretty expensive. I'm actually hopeful that in Andor we will see more aliens, because we're supposed to be inside the rebellion, right? And again, historically, that's where a lot of aliens flock to, because they've been prosecuted. So to me, it would make a lot more sense. That's not what we've been shown, though. So I am, I'm hopeful that's not the case, because again, I really would like to see that. I think Mando did a good job of balancing that again, but that's a different era, right? We're in the New Republic, so once again, aliens are starting to travel. They're starting to, be everywhere like they were with the Old Republic. So again, that just makes sense. But here, smack in the middle of the Empire era, I don't bump into them not being there as much. So that was a long-winded answer. Sorry, but
you need to take that entire segment, cut that out, and make a YouTube video of that. And of course, you need to blur out the word Nazi, because YouTube algorithm hates that. But
yeah, who'd have thunk, right?
But that aside, you need to take that, because I didn't even consider that, even though I also even though in my head I knew that, I like forgot that. And because I personally just didn't care. I'm like, it's Star Wars, it's good, give me all whatever.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I'm not looking for a reason to hate it.
Right. No.
Well,
by no means.
But your reasoning is exactly, if I want to make a canon reason for it.
Yeah.
Why they do that.
Yeah. And again, and it's well documented, if you want to look at it that way. It's been in novels. It's been in cartoons. Again, there's a reason why they only conscript or they only recruit human for military, right?
Yeah.
And so, the reason is there. You just gotta maybe scratch the surface a little bit. But again, I don't bump into that much. Again, at this stage in the story, right? Like at this period, let's call it.
I don't know if my thing works. But let me try it.
Try it.
Yep.
Got it. That's awesome.
Was that the cheers? Because I can't hear
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, it is. Oh yeah. No, it is. Thank you. And so I'll just keep going real quick. I just wanted to show one of my favorite, because you reminded me, one of my favorite. I'll show two of my favorite parts. So the only good thing for me that came out of Reba.
Oh, sorry. By the way, I have time.
Yeah.
So don't worry. Don't feel like you have to.
Oh, okay, great.
Yeah.
We'll go maybe for another, I don't know, maybe another 20 minutes or so, and then we'll call on it. I don't want to keep everybody also awake. So one of the my favorite thing that came out of that whole Reba finding out about Luke, not telling anybody apparently, and showing up at the Lars homestead is Anne Beru. So Anne Beru was like, "Oh yeah, like we knew this was gonna happen. Like why are you scared? Here's a shotgun. You know,
it was legit.
Dude, she was like, no, we don't need help. No, like you and I, we're enough. Here's a shotgun. Go hide behind those plants over there. I was like, whoa, like, like where did that come from? You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Dude, seriously, like she was like, nah, I'm ready. Like, what are you talking about? Like, I'm running. Like, do you know how much mortgage we paid on this thing? Like, I'm not leaving it alone. Let's just do this thing, right? And obviously, Owen was like, but okay, if we're staying, we need help. And she's like, no, we don't need help. Like, you and I are enough. I was like, wow, really? Like, okay. But this I guess sequence, or this, turn of events gave way to one of my favorite, and I know it's obvious and it's kind of like on the nose or whatever, but I just enjoyed it when Reva obviously, beats the crap out of everybody, and Owen is, he doesn't have his space shotgun anymore. All he has is like a stick, right? And he's trying to like wave her off with it. I mean, she's got a lightsaber, so it's not gonna end well. And she goes, "Wow,
we might as well just call it a light bat at this point, the way they use it."
Yeah, exactly. I mean, seriously. And so she goes like, "Wow, you really love the boy, like as if he was your own." And he just looks at her and he's like, "He is my own. Like what are you talking about? You know?" And I was like, "Oh, like that." I don't know. Like I said, it's maybe an obvious thing to do, and maybe people saw it from like a mile away, but it got to me. It still got to me. Which, by the way, and I'm forgetting his name right now. Uncle Owen. I think he did a killer job at acting. I thought he was really good.
Same two people from the prequels.
Yes, they are. Which I thought again was awesome, right? That they actually came back.
Yeah.
Same thing with Bail Organa. We saw him in Rogue One, but to see him here again,
Jimmy's not doing anything. He's got time.
Yeah. I mean, he's just waiting for Andrew.
Yeah, Sons of Anarchy's done, so he's like, I can do
exactly. Oh, put me in everything, coach.
Yeah.
So, like I said, that was one of the highlights for me for the show, for the episode for sure, for the overall show too. And again, it might be something that you're like, dude, like, did you see that fight at the beginning of the episode, right? Again, of course I enjoyed that. That was visually stunning, very entertaining. But it's little moments like this, that I do not expect them, and that's what sticks with me a lot of the times. I remember more details about that moment than I do about the actual fight.
Yes.
And it's just, because again, Star Wars is about family, right?
Yep.
Here you have this guy that he's not blood related at all, right? He's only like bound by duty to take care of this child. Yep. But he has been doing so pretty much since the day he was born, right?
Yep.
Since he was like 3 days old. And so he's like, he's my son. Like there's like absolutely no doubt in his mind. Like he is my son, and I will protect him from evil and good, if you think about it, right? Because he's actually protecting from Obi-Wan as best as he thinks, as best as he can, right? As doing the best that he can with the information he's got. That's the way I look at it. So again, I just, I wanted to point that out because I enjoyed this moment so much. And again, it just stuck with me, right? He's like, I don't care that, he's not even force sensitive, right? He's not a soldier. He's not anything, right? He's literally a farmer in the middle of the desert.
Yeah.
And he stands out, to protect his family, right? And again, that's just something to, I know all dads out there, can identify with that. Well, maybe not all dads, but most dads.
The good ones.
We'll call it. Yeah, there you go. So yeah.
I just want to say the you hit the nail on the head with like those are the moments to remember, because right now thinking about part 4, what the episode when they're at the Inquisitorium.
Yeah, the Inquisitorium. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The only thing I remember is that I teared up when the speeder went down, because in that moment, despite everything happening, I was like, oh wow, they really nailed the whole concept of like people thinking they're just like not part of anything, saying I'm going to stand up for what's right, and somebody dying for doing that.
Right.
They really nailed that part. And I was like, that's the one thing from the episode I remember.
Yeah.
I remember when I think about it, but that's the only moment that I'm like, ooh, like that hit me there.
And because again, right, like these dudes they weren't even rebels, like per se, right? No. They were not trained pilots.
Nope.
They were not former soldiers. They were not or current soldiers. Like they were just not soldiers at all. Nope. They were not force sensitive, right? They're not Jedi. They're not Sith. They're not anything like that. Inquisitors, whatever. Again, these are just guys like, you know what, man? These guys need help. We got a couple of ships that are barely holding together with tape and gum, but they will shoot. So that's all we need, and we're going for it, right? Because that's the right thing to do, like you said. And so, yeah, it's like I said, it's those little moments, right? It's that most people brush over them because somebody's not holding a lightsaber, somebody's not, jumping around, or somebody's not force choking somebody. But it's those little nuggets that tend to stick with people, right? And again, I just wanted to point that out. I just love this thing. We had like the episode was visually stunning in my opinion. They did a really good job. They keep doing a really good job of using the light, right, from the lightsabers. I feel like that's become its own element.
I'm glad you specified the lightsabers because they did poorly with the other lighting.
Right? Yeah. That's funny you mentioned that because I thought so too. I was like, I am bumping into something, and I can't like put my finger on it. But I read something, or I watched a YouTube video review or something. They're like, yeah, what's up with this? Like, it's kind of like not consistent and it's not great. And yeah, I mean,
when you had up Ice Cube Jr., I literally had to move my mouse and brighten my screen to max.
Yeah,
because that's how they were. Like it was just dark.
Yep,
it's cheaper. You can hide stuff.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. And especially if they're using that what's it called, the volume? The one with the background, the way the Mandalorian invented it.
It's the TV background.
Yeah, exactly. With the live, rendering and all that. That stuff gets expensive. Like if you got to spend a lot of time in there.
I'm done with that. Give me the real stuff.
So lighting, right? Again, the counter.
That's what I was trying to. That was what I was trying to accomplish with that.
Yeah. No, I hear you. I saw that. I got it. And in case you guys, I guess missed that. Nope, that's not the right one. Just kidding. So my man Archer actually, I guess, repositioned his Darth Vader helmet. That's the Black Series one, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So the Black Series Darth Vader helmet. He usually has it up there on the, I guess, on the spot where it's sort of like light up green right now. Yeah, there you go. That corner.
With the eye of Asante or whatever it's called.
Yes, there you go.
Yeah.
But he brought it, up close and personal for us for this stream. So much appreciated. I think the lighting is doing a really good job, though. I like the contrast too.
I should have taken that light and made this side blue. That's
there you go. Yeah, that would have worked out too.
Yeah, I failed you.
Nah, and remember what Vader said: "I am not your failure, Obi-Wan."
There you go. That's why I like you, man, because that you knew exactly where I was going with that.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I got you. Hey, Darth Angels. Yeah, definitely, man. I'll be honest with you. I go back and I flip flop. Of course, I want more episodes. I would enjoy them, but at the same time, would I want more Kenobi based, episodes, or would I want him like sprinkled around like the other shows? And I don't know, to be honest. I don't know because some stuff I enjoyed a lot about Obi-Wan himself. Some stuff was all right. So I still wanted to see a lot of stuff, obviously, that we sort of know that happens with Obi-Wan, right? From different stories.
Mm-hmm.
Not the least of which I would not mind seeing that last duel with Darth Maul, right, in live action.
I disagree. I have to disagree.
Oh, really? Okay.
Because the Clone Wars won. The Rebels won. Here's the thing. When I first saw that, I saw it out of context. I watched just.
Oh, really? Okay.
I watched just that clip. At that point, I gave up on Rebels. So I saw just that clip.
I don't blame you.
On YouTube, and I was like, "This is terrible. Like, this is really what you gave me." And then years later, I decide I'm gonna watch Rebels, like after trying like 5 times. And when I got to the episode and I'm watching it and I watch it transpire, I was like, "This is awesome. Like, this is great." And I think it's so good. I don't want them to attempt a recreation and potentially mess it up.
That is fair. That is fair because as things are going, some of those iconic moments. You're right. Let's leave him, because untouched.
It's canon. That's the thing. Like
it is. Oh yeah.
The cartoons are not like another interpretation. So that's where I'm like, if something occurred in animation, we might as well.
Yeah, it should be. Yeah, like it's covered. Let's move on. Exactly. I see what you're saying. Yeah, but even on that, there were 2 things that I hoped for. I knew it wasn't going to happen more than likely, but there were 2 two characters, let's say, that I hope for to pop up in Kenobi. Mm-hmm. One of them was Quinlan Vos, because I've always enjoyed that character.
Loved it.
And we gotta mention, we know he's alive,
right?
As far as we know, right?
Right.
So I will settle for that. I will settle for that. They didn't have to do it, right? It didn't necessarily like advance the plot anymore. But it's nice to have confirmation he survived, at least as far as this point, right? Mm-hmm. Which is already saying a lot. So I'm okay with number 1. Number 2, I really wanted something about Duchess Satine. That was some of my favorite like character development during the Clone Wars, right? Because the Clone Wars were trying to do it all about Anakin, right? He gets Ahsoka as a Padawan. Oh, is that gonna calm him down? Is he gonna be a better Jedi? We know he still ends up bad, right? But he was trying to go that way. And Obi-Wan was always like, oh yeah, the voice of reason, the by the book guy. But then you'll find out that he kind of had this thing going on with Duchess Satine, right? When they were younger.
He almost had his own Anakin moment.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was gonna say. He very nearly went the same path as Anakin did later on, right? But he managed not to. But here's the thing, like, they keep, I guess, exploring that. And he finally says it, right? I mean, if you would have told me, I would have left the Jedi Order, like, for you. That's it. And then, of course, later on, I guess, spoilers, guys, if you haven't seen Clone Wars, that's like a 12-year-old show. But
you messed up. You've not seen Clone Wars, I'm just saying.
Yeah, you are missing out. And it's on Disney Plus, so why not? Then she gets killed, right, in front of him. And I don't know if you've read it. I haven't read it, but I know of it. There's a short story in a compendium of Clone Wars stories where they go a little bit deeper in that scene. So to set up the scene, Darth Maul has taken control of Mandalore, right? The government or the planet, and Duchess Satine was the previous like governor. So she's captured. Of course, Obi-Wan goes against the council. He actually goes on his own.
Yep.
No backup, no clones, no Anakin, no nothing, just him.
Yep.
Infiltrates Mandalore to try to save her, right? Again, this is like how much he cares for her. Then they're fighting in the throne room. Obi-Wan gets captured. There's a couple of Mandalorians holding him down, one of each arm.
Let's watch.
And Darth Maul just like boom, like stabs Satine with a lightsaber, right? And so Obi-Wan is devastated. He just like kind of like falls to the ground.
That show was just so savage.
Yeah.
Yeah. God.
Yeah, I think again, it's just one of those things that when you go back and you're like, "Oof, I don't remember this being like this dark, man." Like they went for it on some of those episodes. But here's the thing: I always felt like if that were to happen, as it happened, I'm saying him being there, like he would have just gone in like force pushed everybody, went against Maul, maybe gotten defeated again. But I felt like he would have reacted more, right? Than just being really sad and sort of like push it down. So it seems some people thought the same as I did, because this short story tells us that in that moment, right, like when he despairs, like when he just wants to, do everything in his power to save her, he actually has a vision. And so the vision showed him that path, what would happen. He basically takes out all the Mandos in there. He takes out Maul. But here's the problem. He doesn't stop there. He goes against everybody that basically put her in that situation. And so ultimately, he goes against the Jedi Council. Why? Because the Jedi Council did not send backup, right, to Mandalore.
Right.
And so
I think they weren't part of the Republic or something.
Correct. So at that point, Mandalore under Duchess Satine was a neutral system, right?
Ukraine. They were Ukraine, essentially.
Correct. Yeah. And so not being part of either, they're like, we can't spend the resources. They're not really an ally, so can't do that. And so I thought that was genius, and I need to look up that story and actually read it. But that just made sense. And so he sees that, and that's why he sort of like brings himself down. He's like, I can't do that, right? Like that is not the path that I want to go down. So that's why he basically doesn't do anything at that point. And again, I love that explanation, exists now, because like I said at the time, I'm like, man, I don't know if if I would have been so composed, let's say, as he was, right? And I mean, I would have, thrown lightsabers left and right. Like I'll be like, I don't care anymore.
But that's why. I will plug my own TikTok. Hey Archer with the number 1 at the end of it on TikTok. I made a TikTok thing saying like people being mad at him giving up doesn't make sense because of the decision like that. Because he's like, I'm so hardcore about this belief. Because of that reason, he lost people. And at a certain point, you get to Revenge of the Sith, and he legit is like, everything I believe in is wrong. I've lost everybody. I've lost everything. Not only the person I loved that I wasn't supposed to love. Yeah. I lost my brother. My brother that I've been through everything with. I failed. F it. I give up. And enter episode or part 1 of
exactly. Yeah. And again, right, I remember the huge amount of lash that came from episode 3, right? Their first fight. And they're like, what is this? That's like, there's no choreograph to this. Like, it looks like crap. Like, he didn't do anything. He could barely block, Vader's saber. And I remember that time I said, wait, this isn't the season finale, right? Like, right. Just wait. Like we're illustrating a point. like you said, right? This guy has been out of it completely, right? For the past 10 years, he has been wallowing in pity. Basically, he's disconnected from the Force. He's just going through the motions every day, right? You cannot expect him to be the how can I say it, as proficient on as a warrior as he used to be.
Right.
And then what did we see on episode 6 or the sixth part of the show? Sure enough, right? And even Vader says it like as if it wasn't obvious enough. He's like, "Wow, your strength has returned. Like you're putting up more of a fight, basically." And maybe they took it a little bit far with all the rocks and stuff like that. But again, that's just to prove the point, I guess.
I hate it.
I saw that, and it's funny you mentioned because I saw that you commented about Rey, lifting rocks, because that is exactly what I thought when I saw it.
Yeah,
and I was like, oh my god, like I can't believe it, but I was like, okay, I see it. Let me pull it up real quick.
And I guess Juan's comments there, yeah, seeing Vader take those boulders, I was just like, I don't know about that.
Right.
But and maybe you're gonna get to it, but I just want to make sure that we address it at some point. I'd like to talk about the Qui-Gon part.
Yes. So let's pull that up.
Okay.
Real quick.
I figured you would, but I wanted to make sure.
No, it's all right. Let's go to that. So, okay. So, again, guys, if you for some reason haven't seen it, sorry, but spoilers.
You're after
this is yeah, exactly. This is basically this is just about the end, right, of the episode. So Obi-Wan has said his goodbyes, sort of, to Leia. He came back to Tatooine. He said hi. Technically, he said hello there to Luke.
Yep.
And I have to agree with you. That should have been the hello there credits. We're done. It doesn't get any better than this. That is it. But no, alas, we limp on, right? And there's Obi-Wan on his EOP.
I'm gonna make a fandom comment.
Okay, yeah.
That is how I know, as much as I like Deborah and as much as I like all the stuff they've done in the show, that is how I know that they do not understand the content. That they didn't even think, ooh, that might be a cool
exactly
moment.
Right. Yeah. No, I have to agree. So we get, Obi-Wan right into the desert on his EOP. And lo and behold, again, not really a surprise. It was more of like a, let's check it off. We know it's coming.
Yeah.
We see Qui-Gon, right, in Force Spirit form. I'll touch on that. Played by Liam Neeson, right, which I thought it was great that he actually came back, because Liam hasn't really been on anything since, I think he voiced some of a small section of the Tartakovsky.
He did.
Yeah. Cartoon, sorry.
Yep.
The actual cartoon, like hand-drawn cartoon. There's a little flashback scene where Anakin is back to being, the Anakin from episode 1.
Child.
And Qui-Gon, yeah, exactly, the child, and Qui-Gon pops up, and I forget right now what the line is, but some teaching, some wise words. But it is actually
convincing him to go into the Force tree, and he was.
Oh yeah, that's right. He was on
doing Empire Strikes Back, going in, I'm afraid to go in there, take whatever.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. So basically
that show
basically saying Oh yeah. So to my knowledge, or at least off of the top of my head, that's the last thing that I remember Liam Neeson as Liam Neeson as Qui-Gon being in anything Star Wars. Mm-hmm. Now we're talking about 2003, I believe.
Yep.
So it's been a minute. Okay. Remember, he was in episode 1, and then that was it. And so really cool to see him again. I thought, fantastic that he returned. He says some it's like, oh, I've been calling you. I thought you were never going to show up. And then Qui-Gon says, well, I've been here the whole time, right? You just weren't ready to see. Now, and I know you got some thoughts on this. If I remember correctly, and again, I think you touched better on this than I probably can. Qui-Gon. Okay, let's back up a thing. This power of becoming a Force ghost is not standard. Okay, that is not standard power or skill or whatever you want to call it for a Jedi. All right,
a default.
Yeah, exactly. It's not. It doesn't happen automatically as you become a Jedi. You don't get that at the end, right? It is a training that only a race, and I'm forgetting the name of the race right now, had achieved, right? Not the Jedi, just an actual race on a hidden planet. Again, and I might be getting this wrong. If I remember correctly, Qui-Gon during his travels, he came across this culture or this race of beings, and he started learning the technique from them, right? Remember episode 3 towards the end where Yoda tells Obi-Wan, it's like, hey, while you're in Tatooine doing nothing, I got training for you, right? He's like, what do you mean? He's like, I thought we were done with that, right? Like we just lost. Like I just want to go and lay down for like 10 years.
Yeah.
And Yoda is like, no, like your former master has actually found a way to come back, right? Like from the Force. And really, what it is once you join the Force, and again, I'm gonna geek out here a little bit. Once you join the Force, you become sort of like a cell within a bigger body, right? You are like you're returning to Gaia, let's call it that, right? So you lose your individuality, right? You are no longer Qui-Gon, Obi-Wan, whatever. Like you're just part of the living Force. However, this technique is actually how can I say it? It enables you to retain your consciousness, right? So you hold on
for a limited time.
Exactly. Yeah, it does come with a time limit, so it's not an indefinite thing. It allows you to basically retain your consciousness as half. Let's call it halfway. Being part of the Force, right? So, and again, as time passes, you lose that ability more and more until you inevitably become one with the Force, right? Like let's say like you were originally meant to. Okay, so hey, Yukon. Yeah, man, that it was flashy for sure. That's again, I think they were trying to highlight like how Obi-Wan is getting his powers back, or he's getting back to his former self. But some of it was pretty flashy, but it was entertaining for sure.
Yeah.
So anyway, so as far as I remember, Qui-Gon did not finish his training, which means I don't know if he could have shown up looking like Qui-Gon, right?
Physically.
Yeah, exactly. Like taking physical form, like we see here. And again, this is just the Star Wars nerd in me, right? Going at this.
But they said it. That's the thing. You're not making some crazy theory about him not finishing it. They literally said that line.
Right. And if you remember those lost episodes for the Clone Wars, which became season 6, I believe, before they went back and finished it with season 7, Yoda sort of goes on a journey to try to find, information on this, right? Like to try to find the people that thought Qui-Gon or the beings, whatever you want to call them. And it's like this whole quest, right?
Yeah.
To try to find them, and even he has a hard time with it, right? Mm-hmm. So anyway, so if you want to be like deadly accurate, I think Qui-Gon should have spoken, right? Like we should have heard his voice. Maybe like a sort of mirage, but not as defined as this. Maybe. Because you can make the argument that, he maybe as being more part of the Force, like maybe he learned some of it, right, along the way, along those 10 years that have passed. But again, I don't know that he would have been at this stage with the training that he actually got. But anyway, we knew it was coming. definitely a cool moment.
Yeah.
But then he basically tells Obi-Wan, we still got work to do, and they ride off into the sunset. Well, Obi-Wan does, and
Western time.
Yeah, Qui-Gon just sort of fades, but in that general direction. So I take that as, all right, I'm going to teach you now how to become a Force Ghost, right? And it's going to take a while, but you're not doing anything anyway. You lost your cave, so might as well, have fun with it. So
why didn't what I didn't even know why they did that.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I saw no point in that. It was a cave, like the cave that he's got in episode 4 is nicer because it's got, like a little bit more furniture. But at the end of the day, it's still a cave, right? So yeah, I didn't fully understand why that had to be part of the scene. And I was like, hey, yeah, you know what? I got to find a new career.
Yeah.
But again, it's just one of those things. So this is where the show actually ends. Again, not on that awesome hello there, which we are all very fond of, especially on this channel. It's nice and everything. I can see it stopping here, right, and being like, okay, this is all the Kenobi we're getting. Of course, I can also see him keep going, right, because we still got another 9 years in the story to catch up to. Well, we got about 7, if I remember correctly, to catch up to that Rebels point. Yeah. Where again, he fights Maul for the last time, and he meets Ezra Bridger as well. But we got 9 years till A New Hope, so there's still plenty of stuff that can happen, right? So we'll see. Again, we keep hearing, Kathleen Kennedy said, well, we were always set out to sort of just make it like a one-time deal, but if the fans want it, maybe we'll reconsider, maybe we'll think about it, blah blah, right? So we'll see.
My goal in life is to be in a room with her and she decides what direction they're going to take, because I don't think any of them are dumb, but I just want to see what they thought the outcome would be versus what we get, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that no, absolutely, that does get to me too. I mean, like you said, what did you expect, right?
What did you think was going to happen?
What exactly? What did you think was going to happen? Did you actually think we were going to love Riva, right? Like, was that a thing?
Right.
Because I remember around episode when it first premiered, which was episode 1 and 2 of the show. I think before episode 3 or maybe right after it, they started flying rumors about a Riva spin-off.
Yes.
Right? Which basically told you, hey, she's not gonna die.
Right.
But then all the hate started coming in, right? And I didn't hear anything about it. I don't know that there's anything official on it. But she didn't die in the show. And like you said, to your point, it does seem like a rewrite, right? Like it does seem like course correction. So is there going to be another course correction? Be like, you know what? Let's just cut that show about Riva. Let's just not talk about that anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So again, were they actually banking so much on the character being loved? Because 1, we got rumors of a spin-off for her. 2, she did not die in the show. And 3, we got a HasLab with her name on it, right? So again, it's just kind of too much to be coincidence, right? Like, it really seems like you were banking heavily on Riva being the next, favorite, baddie, I guess.
Well, no, one would even say potentially the next Ahsoka. Ahsoka hated.
Yeah.
Hated.
Yeah.
Hated season 1, and then it turned around.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I saw this meme and I tried to find it, and for some reason I couldn't. But that scene when she breaks down and she tells Obi-Wan basically like, what do I do now? And he tells her, well, you're free, right? Like, you just became free, like you can do whatever you want. And she's like, okay, well then I'm Riva Skywalker. I was like, oof. That yeah.
But that's where that was also like Cosmonaut Variety Hour, one of my favorite YouTube channels.
Nice.
He only does video essays, and he sometimes does like he calls it a cosmonaut quickie where it's like a 10-minute whatever.
Okay. Yeah.
He did a video essay on Rise of Skywalker. He just released it 2 years later, 3 years later, whatever it was.
Right.
And he's like, it's so blatant that Kylo was supposed to live, and they decided last minute not to. Where they're like, oh, whoever lives will go back to Tatooine, will bury the lightsabers, and then say my last name now is Skywalker.
Exactly.
That's all Kylo. That's all Kylo. And they just were like, right.
Yeah, exactly. The whole like actual character like growth came from Kylo. I mean, if you think about it, right?
That's his. Sadly, it's his trilogy because they messed him up. But it really is.
Oh yeah. We were led to believe that it was supposed to be Finn at the beginning.
Right.
That did not happen at all. Like he literally just the exact same character. Yeah. Rey. I don't know. I mean, I can't really say that I see it we
could do like 4 hours on that.
Oh yeah, definitely. That's for sure. But so now that you mentioned that, I wanted to do something for the people that are still watching right now. So do me a favor, guys. Everybody on the chat, go ahead and type this for me. All right. Everybody in the chat. What's up? Yeah, for sure. Guests included. Yeah. We don't have that many people, so I think you got pretty good odds. So go ahead, guys. Type that in, please, in the chat. We'll give it a couple minutes. And let me show you why we're doing that.
Ooh.
So
I do want to say for everybody who is watching but may not be a YouTuber but thinking about doing YouTube, if you're ever doing a live stream, despite comfort, you want to wear pants because you never know when you might have to stand up randomly. It's always good to wear
now
pants.
Yeah, I'm actually wearing shorts today because it's warm out here.
Exactly.
But let's just say cover the basics. All right.
I love that.
So guys, if you remember, and thanks, appreciate it, man. So if you remember, I had a giveaway not that long ago for 250 subscribers.
Yes.
So we are, I think we're currently at around 274. I got one more to go for 275, but getting close. But I wanted to do something special today for the people that are here because I know you guys are always, with me when I do these lives. You're always, aware when I put up a video. You're always on Instagram, things like that. And in number, it might not be many of you, but each and every single one of you mean a lot to me. Okay. And I appreciate you guys so much. Thank you for this year in which I've come to know, the support that I have from friends, from family, and also new friends, such as my guest tonight, and just the love from the community. It's amazing. It's easily my favorite part about doing this, right? About having this YouTube channel, which is not big by any means or stretch of the imagination, but I enjoy every single video. I enjoy every single comment. I read them all. I try to reply to them all. If I haven't for some reason, I'm sorry, but I do actively try to reply to all of them. And so I just wanted to do something quick tonight, again, for the people that are still, around, which we've gone a little bit over our usual runtime. But again, special episode. And I did not lie. So we'll give it about a minute or more so, and then we'll do a quick giveaway. And so just to remind you guys what you can get, you're going to have your option, one of three. You can get the Cad Bane from Black Series. All right. And technically, this is the Clone Wars look, which I kind of like better. That short hat on the Book of Boba Fett didn't quite do it for me. But brand new, sealed. I haven't used this, don't worry. So brand new sealed. There it is. That's your choice number one. Then we got a figure that I know you've covered, and I enjoyed a lot. Um, in case Star Wars is not your particular jam,
Yep.
we got Sunman.
Mm-hmm.
All right, really good example. Unpunched.
Ooh, and it's unpunched.
Yep. So there it is, brand new sealed, everything. Card is pretty good. It's got a little thing on the corner, if you care about that. But hey, it's possibly free. So
and unpunched.
So that's gonna be your option number 2. And then we got this guy, since we've been talking about G.I. Joe.
We've gone full circle on this episode.
Exactly, right? So symmetry. So we got this guy, the Baroness with the Cobra Coil. Let's see if I can get a better shot.
That's
the
a
bubble
great,
does.
That's a great set, by the way.
Oh man, it is, and it's again, I don't collect G.I. Joe because if I start, it's
it's a wrap.
Going. Yeah, oh yeah, but this I really enjoyed. I want to say this was the first one or one of the first ones as a set, right? Like with a bike that came off of Classified.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember it was sort of like a debacle because, if I remember correctly, it was an exclusive to Target first.
Yes.
Was gone in seconds.
Yep.
Then people kept finding them, hoarding them, right? Just buy enough as many as Target will let you, which was all of them back then. They did not have a cap, or they did not have a policy to like 1 per customer or 2 per customer, whatever. Like they just kept going. And then pretty quickly they rose up to be like what, $200, $300 online, from resellers. And so when this is what is it, $40 or somewhere around there?
Yeah.
It's nowhere near $50. So I think original price was $40, and then people were asking, like I said, 3, 4, 5 times as much. Luckily, Hasbro, I guess, heard the cries of all the fandom and decided to make more. And they offer them not exclusive anymore, because that just was not the way to do it anyway.
Never is.
And so exactly, it rarely is the case. And then I want to say I even got this one off of Hasbro Pulse, if I'm remembering correctly. I bought it a while back that I saw it just in stock for the giveaway, like specifically for the giveaway, because I thought, it's a pretty good piece. It's a really good set. Like the details on it are actually pretty good. And again, potentially free, right? So can't beat that. So how are we doing, guys? Remember, #1 year. And then let me see, how does this work? There's a giveaway tool somewhere.
It's funny. I think I gave away that figure as well to my friend.
Did you?
Billy? Happy birthday, Billy! Today's his birthday.
It is. Yeah.
I think I gave that to him. I can't remember.
Nice.
Because I went down the rabbit hole of being like, I need all the numbers, and the bookshelf behind me was supposed to be and it was for a little bit, like all the numbers, like 1 through whatever. But that one, the Baroness set, throws it off because you can't put it sideways in a bookshelf.
Yeah, you're right. I see that.
But
it is
super dope 2-pack.
And it is numbered, like my man actually saying.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So, even though it was an exclusive to begin with, right?
Right.
Which would potentially mess up, your count. It is numbered, and yes, I don't see how you can put that along with the regular size figures.
You know what I want? I do want to say something that's a shame, that you mentioning exclusive and me looking at your wall. It's a absolute shame that the Clone Wars styled Black Series figures are exclusive to either Walmart or Target, because that Kenobi is one of the best effing Black Series figures out there. And I'm fortunate to have found one, but I feel bad for anybody who doesn't have that. And I feel like I wish I had the one from Walgreens with the cape. Like,
dude,
those heads are so good. And you can't get them on Hasbro. That's so infuriating.
No, I have what I call the clone commander
Yeah.
Kenobi,
Yes.
which is not right because technically he was a general from the beginning, but
Right. But
we won't get into that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the clone armor, right? Phase 1 clone armor,
Yep.
Kenobi, which again, the figure is not accurate because in the cartoon he still had long hair from episode 2, right? But
Yeah.
the figure is amazing. Don't get me wrong.
Yep.
And so that portrait, now that you mention it, that portrait um, from that exclusive is actually the one they've been using in the subsequent like 3 or 4 Kenobis, um, like general release. I mean, and so the head sculpt is the same. That's the head sculpt they use for
archive, except the archive one, which is the
except
one
yes, which is
the
like
most.
why wouldn't you, right? Which is the most readily available one, right?
Yeah.
So why wouldn't you update that one?
Yep.
And yeah, I agree. They use that mold for the white packaging one.
Mm-hmm.
I think the paint is different though.
Yes. Yep.
And then
smaller head.
Yes. Yeah. And then the archive is, yeah, I don't know. I was excited because I was like, yeah, I want that one because I have the OG release one. I actually have both. If you guys remember, it was released on the, what was it, the blue line and then the orange line. Like for some reason, it's the same figure. Just it was on both wave 1 and wave 2 or wave 3, whatever it is. Anyway, point is, I have them both because I found them cheap. That was the only reason. But they are not great figures in terms of portrait, right?
Right. But that one behind you,
yeah,
super good.
Exactly. So that I want to say that's probably my favorite one. The, like you said, the Walgreens exclusive, and then that one, then that Target exclusive, Clone Wars from 2008 version. And again, both exclusives, right? So if you didn't find one, they went up in price, and yeah, I don't know. It's one of those things that I was lucky enough to get them at the time. But if I hadn't, I know that I would have paid, for them. But we shouldn't have to, right? Like
shouldn't have to. Exactly.
Yeah, that's the thing. All right, guys. So we're coming up on the 2-hour mark here. So everybody got their hashtag 1 year. We're gonna be doing a giveaway. Remember?
Shout out Juan. He's calling a shot. He's saying I'm gonna win.
And he wants. Oh yeah, I know, right? He's calling out his shots already. He's like, yeah, I'll just go ahead and mail me that. So let me see if I did this correctly. Okay, so let me share with you so that there is, some transparency. All right, so it seems that we have 6 entries, which those are pretty good odds, if I do say so myself. So everyone ready? No last minute entries. Come on, I'll give you like 10 seconds. All you got to do is type in 1 year. Hashtag 1 year. And again, guys, thank you so much for all the continued support on this year. So let's go ahead and do it. I think I just click on this.
Man, I love that feature about StreamYard.
Yeah. I did not know it was there. I'm not going to lie. Oh, no way.
Wait, is that who called it? No?
No.
No.
Actually, Josue won my 250 subscriber giveaway. So congratulations, Josue. Pick your prize, and I'll get it to you along with the other one.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
Quick recap: we got the G.I. Joe Baroness with the bike that covered his. We got the Sunman from Multi Origins, and then we got Unpunched. Yes, that's correct, right there, Unpunched. And then we got the Cat Bane from Clone Wars. So let me know what you want. You can reach me out on Instagram. I know you have that. So let's go ahead and start.
He's in the chat. I'm sure he'll give his answer.
Yeah.
I need to know. Give me Jose. I need to know.
I know, right? So yeah, let me know, Jose, what do you want? And in the meantime, I'm gonna do some housekeeping real quick. I meant to post a small hunt today. I will be posting it tomorrow. It's like 6 minutes. It was a small event that they had here at one of the malls, but I actually ended up buying something cool on it. So I want to show you real quick. This is what my man's Hey Archer channel looks like. This is actual. He's like it says on the title, his toy hunting vlog, and my man brings the heat every time. So go ahead and check it out. He also has the other one that we mentioned, excuse me, which is nerd affiliated, and right there. So basically, he has his uh, affiliated collaborators on Rambling, and Sal was here for a little bit. And so again, he's covered he's covered Kenobi, he's covered he's done a podcast on it and a lot of more stuff. So these guys do a lot of reviews, they do a lot of trailer breakdowns, they do a lot of just general covering what's coming up. So go ahead and give him a follow. And last but absolutely not least, and let me copy his channel link. I'm going to put it on the chat, guys, if you could go ahead and give him a follow. So
Nathan Bowden, the legend himself.
Yep. So a year ago, a year and 2 days now, when I literally had just opened the YouTube channel, right? I didn't know what I was doing. I was trying to find out how to actually upload the video that I had done for it.
Mm-hmm.
While I was doing that, Nathan Bowden subscribed to my channel. Okay. Awesome. He was my #1 subscriber. Okay. Again, yes. I didn't even have a video I was working on. I was literally trying to find the upload folder, right? Or to drop it in. And Nathan Bowden just went ahead and subscribed. And he said, hey, it seems like you do toy hunting, so that sounds good to me. I'm subscribed. That was it. I didn't know him. He didn't know me. Again, at this point, we didn't have any like shared channels or anything like that. So I would appreciate it, guys, if you go ahead, check out the Nathan Bowden Show. I just put the channel link on the chat. And again, this guy does some really cool toy hunting. Mm-hmm. He is a wrestling fanatic / expert. Yeah, exactly. He is, if you guys enjoy wrestling, you are gonna to absolutely love his channel. He not only does wrestling, right? Like I said, he does toy hunting. Right here, you can see he's got a Lando. He might be the only one who got it ever. He's got some Marvel Legends. He's got a lot of stuff, guys. So go ahead, check him out. I would appreciate it. If you comment on his video, just let him know that General Kenobi sent you. I know he will like that. So I want to thank him again. He's just an example of what this community can be, right? Right. Super supportive. Everybody's is great. Everybody's very positive. I've found that out. Very, very positive. Everybody sort of lifts each other up, right? Which is amazing. And the world needs more of that. And as I'm wrapping up, let me see if there's a comment. I
want to do one shout out, by the way.
Yeah, let's go.
I want to shout out your video where I don't remember what it was you were unboxing.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't remember if I mentioned it when you were on my show, but I remember you were opening it. It may have been Commander Bly or somebody, but you were like, I'm going to do this on video. And then you were like, and you're like, and you're like, oh, that was my favorite video that you've ever made.
Oh man, I appreciate that.
That was the day where I was like, this is my guy. I was already subscribed, but I was like, this is my guy, because I know the horror and the pain of opening that figure that you shouldn't be opening. And you did it on the stream. I loved it. My favorite. I think your battery died on your camera. That's right. I'll maintain the show until he comes back. There he is.
There I am. Wrong button. Just kidding. I didn't go to sleep. What are you talking about? So what I was trying to say is guys. So this is the I remember now that moment. That was a Commander Cody, the archive one.
Cody, yes.
And the only reason why I did it, and you know, a little bit behind the scenes, I had just came out to San Antonio for the new work for the new job. I'm sorry, and I was living on an Airbnb, so I didn't have any of my stuff like with me, right? Like my collection, I mean. So I was like, dude, I kind of want to keep this video thing going, right? And so I went to a toy shop, and it was just jam packed. Like I was like, man, I can't film in here. Like it's just gonna be, you know, I'm gonna have to blur out like 30 different faces. And so anyway, I picked up Cody. I was like, oh, they got Cody, good, and it was a good price. And then I was like, you know what? Maybe I should just try unboxing it, right? And oof, man, it was roughies. It was tough for me because I was like, I'm going against everything in my nature to get it done, right?
I love it.
But I appreciate that it didn't go unnoticed.
Yeah.
And so, guys, again, follow my man, Hey Archer. I've left the links on the chat. Same thing with Nathan Bowden. If you can go ahead and give him a follow, like, comment, subscribe, all of his videos, all of their videos, sorry. And Archer, I can't thank you enough for being my first guest here in the high ground. I had an absolute blast, as the timing can attest, right? I mean, we pulled up, I think, just over 2 hours, and I feel like we could go 2 more easily.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining me, man.
Just talking about the sequel trilogy. We can go another.
Oh yeah,
2
yeah, that's and maybe even just about the Last Jedi. And so thanks again, man. Thank you so much for joining me. But overall, thank you just for all the support, and your friendship, and you know, your opinions and your awesome content, man. I genuinely enjoy watching your videos. I'm like one behind, I think, right now. But you know, just the stuff that you do. Again, I love the style that you have. It that new intro is fire, by the way. I know you. It took you a couple of like iterations maybe to get there, but I think you nailed it. I always appreciate you giving us, I guess, a little bit of a peek behind the curtain, like the stuff you did recently with your audio, right? Switching out, trying out new things. That to me is invaluable, because not a whole lot of people talk about it, right? They just kind of like, oh yeah, no, if you buy this amp and this mic, it's gonna sound awesome. I'm like, yeah, but what do I like? How do I connect it? Where do I put it? What do I try out? You know, closer, further, etc., right? So I greatly appreciate that you did. You know, that you actually talked about it. Hey Joey, what's going on, man? Thank you so much. Yeah, we're still here. We're about wrapping up though, but thank you so much for stopping by. Also, guys, if you're not following the Padawan Collector, do yourself a favor. Amazing Star Wars channel. Yes. He is basically collecting all of the vintage Star Wars, you know, from the 70s and 80s from scratch. All right. And in doing so, he does a metric ton of research into variations of the figure, into proper accessories of the figure, into Facebook groups, you know, eBay sales, all of that stuff, pricing, how to get it graded, all of that. If that's anything that interests you, go ahead and check him out. He just passed 5,000 subscribers, and my man is on a roll. So go ahead, give him a follow, and tell him that General Kenobi sent you. So, any last remarks before we wrap it up?
I think you know the line you need to say as you hit end stream. So I'm just gonna, put that in.
We're say I know that Kathleen Kennedy is gonna watch this. Yes. Probably not right now, but she'll watch the rerun. She always does.
Always.
Yeah, always. So this is how you end properly a stream, right? Or an episode, or a multi-million-dollar TV show. And how do you do it? You say, hello there.